Alright, so welcome to the Sochi Autodrome for the Russian Grand Prix. Start far back and I picked up a grid penalty. So I started way deep in the pack. And qualifying was it was raining and I was driving as hard as I could with the intermediates. I also got Guts on in the background. You know what Guts is? It's a game show that was on Nickelodeon back during Nickelodeon's glory years in the 90s, 1990s. Guts was a really enjoyable game show. Your kids get to live out their wildest sports fantasies. You know, it's mostly just kids bungee jumping and doing sports and stuff.
Welcome along then to Sochi and the Russian Grand Prix, one of 8 cities in the world to play host to both the Olympics and a Formula One race. It's a Grand Prix that's proven difficult to crack for anyone beyond the first 2 rows of the grid in recent years, so let's see if that can change today. It's time to go racing then in the Sochi Autodrome, where the long run down to the heavy braking zone at turn 2 is one of 2 DRS zones around this 3.6-mile circuit. The other, of course, down into turn 13. 18 corners make up a lap here today, with an average speed somewhere in the region of 130 miles an hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Perez, George Russell, and Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Ocon, and Max Verstappen, Sainz, Gasly, Louis Delatraz, and Stroll, Joe, Tictum, Bird, they've taken a grid penalty, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, and Sebastian Vettel starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay. I definitely want to lighten the fuel load, I know that, and I'll go with the strategy from what the engineers have. Alright, let's go ahead and begin the racing here in Mother Russia. And it's lights out and away we go. Good job, Louis. Louis was able to safely tuck back in line, which is awesome. I'm gonna need to sadly get around my teammate. The only way I'm gonna have any chance of getting into the points is if I'm really aggressive, especially in the opening lap. And these guys are all bunched up together.
this lap, we can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. We're leading our teammate by 2.1 seconds.
You can tell us Ferrari's really holding, Sainz is really holding me up, and I knew he was going to try using the boost to defend. Oops, he didn't want to do that, but it's just that Carlos kept moving down on me and didn't really leave me any room. But I'll stick with the original strategy. I don't want to stay out too long on these tires.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums. top 10 now. Keep it up. Gap to car in front is 2.6 seconds.
I keep thinking, and you wonder why this track is so unloved by fans. You know, just one of those bland, generic tracks, you know? It can easily be smooth and... you know, and not lose so much time, that's for sure. Alright, I gotta dive into the pits this lap. Okay, 5 seconds. Okay, let's redo that. I just wondered where the... it's hard to see where that sign is. Yeah, he's gotta slow down in time for the pits.
Louis is in the pits. Louis in the pits.
Alright, they're gonna have to really hurry up and get the stop done quick in order for Louis to... in order for him to not get trapped behind a bunch of cars. Alright, 2.4 isn't too bad.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Alright, gotta get on the gas. I beat Carlos out of the pits, that's awesome.
You've moved up to P12. We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
if I can catch George Russell in time, try to get into the points.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining. Okay, gap ahead is 2.1 seconds.
Whoa, couldn't stop in time for that. It's like, whoa, couldn't stop in time for that. There's no warning there. And I saw the yellow flag, and I saw that the yellow flags were out. Oh my goodness.
Green flag. There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful. This is your final lap of the race. Our gap to the car in front is 11.2 seconds.
take P7.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Sadly having to use a flashback there where the accident was. Because there was just no warning of that accident, even though for yellow flags, but
superb Russian Grand Prix comes to an end.
the accident
and it's a
just
thoroughly deserved victory.
it just happens right out of the corner
Anthony
there, and I
Davidson,
can't
a
stop in
resounding
time.
victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. So let's review the updated driver standings. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. Some amazing talents out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Bird. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
Let's move on to the constructors. Red Bull pulled further ahead in the standings. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Man, just sadly fallen so far behind on development because money's
The
just so
fans
tight.
really seem to enjoy
and,
that. You made it look easy.
Yeah, I'm having to save up
How
enough
do you feel these
money.
grid penalties are affecting the sport?
Don't ask me that.
It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it? How do you think this team will be feeling after that? Last year you had a much harder time on this track. What made the difference this time around? Appreciate your time.
Yeah, it's just those last upgrades I can't get until the parts of the facility are level 3. And with money, you know, kind of being really tight, you know, it's just so difficult, you know, getting the upgrades, but also having to pay Louis' contract money. And a lot of these races happening consecutively, you just don't have enough time to really get that money in order to keep up with the development.
Our income is solid at the moment. We should start considering where we can look to invest the profit we're making back into the team.
But yeah, that's what I mean. There's just too many consecutive weekends, you know. There's so many consecutive weekends, you know, it's just hard, you know, because you just don't have enough time to get everything in terms of the upgrades. But anyways, I'm still doing pretty well in the standings. And I definitely will want to not bring as strong an engine, especially to Singapore, especially to where the and because Singapore is not a power track, I know that for sure. But yeah, Singapore is mainly a downforce track. All right, let's go ahead and advance the clock. All right. So yeah, in the next episode, it'll be the Singapore Grand Prix on the streets, the Marina Bay Street Circuit. So I'll see you guys in the night race. Bye.